If all essential partners are expected to be in Canada to start the business, but one partner opts out, Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're tackling a crucial topic for entrepreneurs in Canada's Startup Visa program. Specifically, we'll explore what happens if a work permit application is refused and how this impacts your project and the path to permanent residency. We'll dive deep into the regulations, policies, and practical implications. Let's get into it. To start, let's make sure we're all on the same page regarding the Startup Visa program, often abbreviated as SUV. This program is designed to attract talented entrepreneurs to Canada, offering them a pathway to permanent residency. The core requirements for this program include a commitment certificate and a letter of support from a designated entity, such as a venture capital fund, angel investor group, or business incubator. Number 2. Meeting the minimum language requirements, usually through standardized tests like IELTS or CELPIP. Thirdly, proving that you have sufficient funds to support yourself and your family for 1 year. With these requirements met, entrepreneurs can apply for a work permit to start their business in Canada while their permanent residency application is being processed. Let's break down the work permit application process for the Startup Visa program. Firstly, you need an offer of employment to a foreign national exempt from a Labour Market Impact Assessment, that's an LMIA. This offer is critical because it demonstrates that your work is essential and not impacting the Canadian job market negatively. Secondly, obtain a commitment certificate from a designated entity. This document confirms that you are essential to the business and that there are urgent business reasons for your early entry into Canada. Thirdly, receive a letter of support linked to the commitment certificate from the designated entity. And fourth, show that you have sufficient funds to support yourself and your family for at least 52 weeks. This work permit allows you to enter Canada and start working on your business while you await the decision on your permanent residency application. Let's get into the heart of the matter. What if your work permit application is refused? The work permit process is governed by Regulation 205A, which is centered around the concept of significant benefit to Canada. This regulation assesses whether your presence and work in Canada will significantly benefit the Canadian economy and startup ecosystem. In contrast, the permanent residency application is governed by the Startup Visa regulations, which include specific criteria for eligibility and evaluation. Here's a very key point. A refusal of the work permit does not automatically impact your permanent residency application. Each process is evaluated independently. However, there are important considerations. If the work permit is refused due to reasons like criminality, security concerns, or past immigration violations, these factors could indeed influence the review of your PR application. Immigration officers might consider these issues when assessing your overall suitability for permanent residency. Secondly, the refusal of a work permit might raise questions or concerns during the PR application review, particularly if there are inconsistencies or red flags in your application or background. Therefore, while a work permit refusal does not directly halt your PR application, it can complicate the process and require additional explanation or evidence. Let's dive deeper into the Startup Visa regulations, specifically Section 98.08, Clause 2 of Immigration and Refugee Protection Regulations. This section addresses the scenario where multiple applicants are involved. If there is more than one applicant in respect of the same business and one of the applicants who is identified in the commitment as being essential to the business is refused a permanent resident visa for any reason or withdraws their application, the other applicants must be considered not to have met the requirements of subsection 98.01 clause 2 and their permanent resident visa must also be refused. In simpler terms, if a project has multiple essential partners and one partner's PR application is refused, it could potentially affect the PR applications of the other partners. This is because the program views all essential partners as integral to the success of the business. What if one essential partner's work permit application is refused? The refusal of a work permit does not automatically stop the project or invalidate the PR applications of the other partners. However, it might impact the overall assessment of the project and the partners. Here's how. Firstly, the refusal could lead to a review of the reasons behind it. If the refusal was due to issues relevant to the immigration status, those same issues might be considered when assessing the other partner's PR applications. Secondly, the designated entity must provide a detailed explanation if some essential partners choose not to apply for a work permit. Consistency and clarity are crucial in this scenario to avoid complications. Consistency is critical here. If the designated entity supports work permit issuance for all essential partners but one partner decides not to apply, it can create inconsistencies and potential issues with the overall application process. Now let's address what happens if an essential partner decides not to apply for a work permit. This choice can indeed create complications. The designated entity needs to clearly explain why some partners are not applying for a work permit, especially if it's a requirement for the business's success. Here's why this is so important. Firstly, if all essential partners are expected to be in Canada to start the business but one partner opts out, it may impact the business's operations and raise concerns with immigration authorities. Secondly, a well-documented explanation from the designated entity can help mitigate potential issues and provide clarity on the necessity of each partner's role in the project. Inconsistent or unclear applications can raise red flags and potentially complicate the approval process. Navigating these processes requires careful attention to detail and consistency. It's vital to address any refusals or complications transparently and seek guidance from a qualified immigration consultant or lawyer to ensure that your application remains on track. I hope this detailed breakdown helps clarify the intricacies of the Startup Visa program, work permit, and its implications. If you have more questions or need personalized advice, feel free to reach out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more insights on immigration and business topics. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.